Welcome everybody back here to the D2CL into our second and last series of the night. And the second series for our team, which has just been destroyed by the newest kids on the block. Burden United going out in a 2-0 fashion up against NiP. So NiP will be scratching themselves, seeing if they can find some level of points coming into this game. But they're up against Hellraisers. And Hellraisers do not make these things easy.
Radiant team ban.
Any Russian team doesn't make anything easy. They force you to fight head to head and try and outlast them or out DPS them. That's kind of the way this has to go. As far as the standings go for D2CL now, with that victory, if I just double check what we've got, Ninjas in Pajamas, boom, 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 boom. Have we got, yeah, BU, yep. So Ninjas in Pajamas are sitting in 7th position in the D2CL right now. They've only played 2 of their series. The D2CL is still very, very young. Everyone plays 7 series. That's the group stage. So everyone plays, I say 2 games. Just to help people out there too, and you guys can be sticklers for this as well. You can't have a best of 2 because you can draw. So it doesn't count as a best of 2. It's a 2-game series, so we play series in the D2CL. But yes, 2 series down. Ninja Pajamas have a 1-3 result from that one. Burden United with that victory, in fact, levels themselves up with Hellraisers, the team we're watching now, who have played also only 1 series, and that was up against Power Rangers, where they took a 2-0 victory, obviously. But we're getting into our first game, so draft underway. Ninjas in Pajamas going to go with their Chen again, as well as Vengeful Spirit. So same old combination. Hellraiser going to make sure they do not pick into a Luna, which is what has been the preferred way of playing this. Normally they've also gone for a Viper as well. I actually prefer to see Ninjas in Pajamas go the other route with this. But the Battle Ryan is getting early banned out, which isn't that great. But they can go down the lines of having the Drow Ranger pick up. It's something which Era does play. And then you can throw your Viper in that middle lane. And let him go up against the SF. Give him the huge amount of damage. Get a Queen of Pain instead.
Radiant team pick.
Not sure if the Quap is going to go up against the SF. She does have multiple options. The most generic thing would be to throw her into that mid. But Queen of Pain with the changes to Blink has become a more viable offlaner. As long as you believe you can escape the initial stun or control. With the Queen of Pain being picked up, I wouldn't be surprised if Hellraisers actually look into some level of silence. This could come from the Skywrath Mage, probably the most obvious choice. They could also pick into a silencer, but in this game it doesn't make as much sense. Unless you're like, I built a Handminer silencer as a core number 1, and that helps me take care of 1 Chen creep. Yeah. Centaur War Runner, give me the selection. Interesting choice when going up against a Chen and a VS. It's going to be very easy to dive the Centaur on the top lane. Because you've got that small area, you can just...
Ranger.
Yeah, there's our Drow. Drow.
Radiant
Drow.
team pick.
Whatever. Yeah, but you're able to walk in through the secret shop and come in behind the Centaur. Now you've also got cold arrows from the Drow. It makes so much sense. And yeah, Skywrath Mage was also another obvious pickup. The Drow Ranger's got one small problem, and that's the fact that Earthshaker Blink Dagger is a great distance closer. So she could have a lot of trouble when he jumps in, and it's something which she won't be able to react to. Because it's a Blink to Echo Slam. So it's an initial stun, initial bit of damage, you won't be able to blink yourself away. And then control stuns, and you're dead. The Shadow Fiend as well.
5 seconds remaining.
I think Hellraiser was actually one of the teams that they ran a Shadow Blade Shadow Fiend. It really wasn't successful. But they ran a Shadow Blade Shadow Fiend, and that'll be one way you could also just get on top of the Drow Ranger, blow your ultimate out, and she should die instantly. But she'll have an indication, and that's where it's not as great, because she'll lose her ultimate. So with that effect gone, you're like, okay, something is awry here. I need to check out what it is. Okay, so... Phoenix is the final ban.
Radiant team
Actually expecting then that's a safe lane Centaur. Yeah. I want to actually check Hellraiser's last couple of games on that. Because they're off laner and safe laner.
10 seconds remaining.
Like, yeah, they've gone back and forward a little bit.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm just double checking all of their core players at the moment. Because Gorik is the one who played Centaur most recently. And he actually played that one in the MLG game up against BBC. A game which they, in fact, lost, Hellraisers. And before that, he had one up against Vega. They have it sporadically. Very, very sporadically. They also have it on multiple players. Go back to the Joint of the Masters back in February, and Artis actually played the Centaur. So that's when they played him as a number 1 position. And before that, well, I'm not seeing anything else on Alfonso. He does not taking it at all. In fact, he's just Shadow Fiend. There's a tiny axe, a sniper, and a whole bunch of Shadow Fiend in there for him. So we know what player he's going to be on tonight. Or what hero he's going to be on tonight. But the Spirit Breaker is the final one. So he's the space creator. He is really the space creator. And also offlaner for Ninjas in Pajamas, which means they will be throwing that Queen of Pain to the mid, and the Drow Ranger heads up to the top. You do not want that Drow up against the Shadow Fiend. She's horrendous for last hitting at the very, very start. She needs to have extra help just to make sure she's got the space and can focus 100% on getting those last hits. Doesn't want anybody in the lane messing with the mojo. And that's where VS comes into play. Chen does the stacking and farming inside the jungle. And the Spirit Breaker just tries to survive on the offlane. Up against the Earthshaker and the Skywrath Mage. Like, Skywrath Mage isn't going to do a lot of damage. When we get a Stout Shield to start with, I'd actually like to see some shared tangos given over from the Chen or somebody to him with a South of his own. And then he affords boots whenever he can. That's something I'd like to see out from the Spirit Breaker. Because then he's able to outrun the Skywrath Mage's harassment. Not completely, because obviously the Stormbolt's always going to follow him. Yeah, Storm Spirit's the last one. So we get a Storm Spirit core. And Gorik will take that... Oh, Gorik, sorry. Will take the Centaur to the offlane. Not a bad combo. I like the jump. They wanted something to get close on Drow Ranger. I'm fine with that. The problem is, whoever's going to jump on the Drow Ranger is going to get jumped by the Spirit Breaker. He's going to Nether Strike whoever goes on top of the Drow. If somebody does. And if they don't, then you've still got a large amount of control, which can screw around with heroes like Shadow Fiend that want to BKB and throw out the ultimate. Obviously, a Spirit Breaker doesn't want to be point-blank range on a Shadow Fiend when he's doing that, but if you can get the Nether Strike off, you'll be able to get on top, delay it out, and then you can potentially also charge yourself to just another hero who's nearby, but it'll get the charge bash onto the Shadow Fiend, which means he won't be able to get his ulti off twice. Which I think is the main purpose. When I said he was a space creator, that's what it's all about. So Jonas, as I have been corrected by some awesome people over on Twitter. Said his name is Jonas. Sorry, I was calling him Johannes before. It's Swedish. It sounds like it should be right. Limpus the Queen of Pain for the mid. And that leaves out Chen in the jungle. Era. I'm not a massive fan of the set. Eternal Envy's one looks a hell of a lot better. I do like the cape on this, though. Like, this cape was probably one of the... It seems very, very plain. It just fits so nicely. Probably the reason he uses it too. God damn. Wow, they're really coming up here. Magic Missile stun. Chen, is it worth the nuke? No, he actually went for Persuasion to start with the charges coming in, and goddamn, it's going to be the first blood. NiP is exactly what they wanted. Of course, the charge switches over to the Centaur. He tried to go for the War Stop. Magic Missile's off cooldown again in 1 second time, but Seal Kid a little bit low, so he's going to be careful about coming close to Dread. There's no other charge available. And now they're going to back up. They still want to contest for the 100 rune. And Centaur, now he's realizing he's visible as an observer board up on top of the cliff. So they can't see him where he is right now, but they can see anyone that walks into this area. So they give the 100 rune to the Queen of Pain. That's meant to go into a bottle. As we get some extra tangos also coming out to the mid. So NiP, they keep doing this time and time again. Spirit Breaker, yeah, you're not going for that rune. The Shadow Fiend will get it. It was really important he got it as well. It's not just for the experience. Well, actually, it really is for the experience, because he went Shadow Razor's level 1. So he wants to be able to spam out, which means spamming gives him bottle charges. First thing he's searching for, money for bottle. And the next thing will just be charges into the souls. So he's got to get his timing really right. Up against the Quap to just achieve first blood. Not the easiest thing, but that's the reason why you're seeing the Earthshaker also just hover around the mid. I mean, he's trying to make Limp just a little bit more scared, but probably not going to be successful at doing so. Same with the Centaur on this top lane. Once Cold Arrows is up, Centaur's going to be so careful. Like, sure, he's got tangos as well as a salve, but he's still up against Magic Missile and a large amount of spam to come from the Drow Ranger. Era's also one of these people that when he plays his Drow Ranger, he goes for heavy Wraith Bands. on the Dro. So you expect him to walk around with basically boots and 3 Wraith Bands, and then go into treads, and he starts selling off his Wraith Bands after that. Oh, that orb can't be disjointed. Cop's just getting so close. Like she's so close to a bottle money, and she wants to take the risk of coming in close in range of. It's only a level 1 race, but sit on the higher ground, try and find anything you can. Centaur versus VS. Always a fun little matchup to watch. It's more fun for the VS when he's walking around with boots, but they're both pretty slow. It's only a 5 movement speed difference with Centaur with a small advantage. 4 leg speeding too. A Spirit Breaker. Man, he's having some great times here. If he can get himself another good bash, potentially he could find this kill. He can't get the bash though. So into the tree, he's got to salve up. No choice. In fact, they're both going to. It's really just a Bash Brothers attack here. There's another hero moving up through the river. That's the Earthshaker. He's not in range for the fissure, so he's not going to throw it. They do protect the DD rune on bottom. There's that Joe Ranger I was talking about with the heavy Wraith Bands. And the boots coming down to our man in pink. More damage into the Spirit Breaker. But the Soul Spirit's out of mana. He's trying to afford to go into the Soul Ring. But the second he does that, if he gets bashed by a Spirit Breaker, which is a guarantee when you got charge, that's a kill. You don't want to be giving an offlane Spirit Breaker a kill. You don't want to be giving an offlane Spirit Breaker 3.5 levels within 2.5 minutes. That's also not part of the plan. And this middle lane's going to be becoming a little bit more difficult for the Shadow Fiend. Normally you'd say it's going to get better, but it's because Stro Ranger is about to get a large amount of it, like, not a large amount, but her agility is slowly increasing. And she's getting closer and closer at level 6, and when that arrives, Queen of Pain's physical damage output's really, really good. So she becomes a physical DPSer as well as the magical burst damager. Like our Seal Kid's also keeping his distance. He's trying to make sure that Dro gets as much experience as possible. With Wave of Terror, he's also capable of pulling the creep waves up, which he kind of needs to throw the lane, but if he also moves back from this area, then Centaur will move up. And VS knows this. In fact, because the creep wave's down so far, Era is kind of forced to, well, not to NiP his creep wave a little bit faster, but yeah, he has to do that. So the creep wave pulls back up to his own catapult, and then you can throw the creep wave there. In fact, he can drag it up and just hold it here. He doesn't want to bring it in range of the tower, so it's better for Era to take damage at the moment, for the sake of balancing in the lane. Centaur, he can't catch a break. He tried to pull the Satacamp over, but the Vengeful Spirit screwed with it and dragged it back. They are going to have a moment here. They're asking for a turnaround to come from the Queen of Pain, but she's not having a bar of it. In fact, it looks like Chen's going to go down the bottom river. That's the Chen army as well, which is going to be taken out by the Shadow Fiend. But they were looking for an opening over on the Centaur, and if Queen of Pain rotated up, I don't know if that'd even be really a kill. But it's worth just charging the Spirit Breaker up to the top. Yeah, and initiating on the Centaur. Just let Steel Kid back up. The Stampede will come in through the Fog of War. We're during nighttime, so Centaur's more than likely now going to move over that line. And that's when you can just have your Stampede go. But he's going to Stampede down to the bottom lane, chasing after that Storm Spirit. Trying to be as much of a nuisance as possible. Wants to hit the charge, and then walks away from the Remnant. So even for Storm Spirit, just to burn a little bit of mana. Close blink away. Like, the Storm Spirit's not going to be too sad about that because he's still running a Soul Ring. But his life regeneration is not amazing, so he doesn't want to keep popping into that Soul Ring unless he really is forced to. Nice fissure. Raise one. Second raise too late. He almost needed to raise before the fissure was going to connect. I'm going to give a lesson in just a moment after this little contest on bottom. There's no haste room for Dread, but he's got some good movement speed up against the Spirit Breaker. Not enough damage to find the kill. But yeah, I just want to let people know with the zoom, it's actually kind of annoying because it doesn't throttle exactly where I want to throttle. This is the normal range I like to have with the zoom, because people have been complaining. So I'm just going to give you a zoom 101 right now. Whenever I'm looking to do a team fight, I want to see where the initiator is. Now, the zoom function on Dota 2 is still quite rigid, so it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to do. But as long as you can see the initiator, so in this position, I would zoom out so you can see like the Centaur here, to see him stampede in, while you still see the status of Roshan. If you just zoom in all the way to this, you kind of see it on the edges a little bit. If you zoom out properly, you might even see initiation. Like, I don't know why it comes out that far. That's just stupid as crap. Like, I want to put a limiter on it, but there is no option for that. That's the only reason. It's just because Dota 2 is taking it too far out. But that's the plan. That's what I try and show you guys when a fight's about to begin. I want to show you wherever the initiation is going to come from and who they're initiating onto. That's the goal with the camera. Right, camera work 101. Well, looks like Joe Ranger did exactly what we were expecting. The 3 Wraith Bands and Treads. Surprising though, Era is kind of safe on the top lane by himself, and he has hit level 6, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's got the Strength Treads up, in case there's some form of jump coming his way. But it's not really required right now. Like, we know that. He knows that. He's got an Observer Ward in the lane. Yeah, he knows that. Switch to Agi Treads. Keep pounding the crap out of everything, Era. Just push, push, push. You're level 6 Drow Ranger. Now, Tier 1 tower should be under threat, because there's no hero on that top lane to soak up the experience. So you want to have damage going into the tower. Force a rotation up so this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Because now you got the Spirit Breaker, a quick seal, a Storm Spirit who's up to level 7, easy jump in, dive under the tower, and Spirit Breaker try to turn for what, a quick charge? His only chance was to in fact charge up north. Because Storm Spirit didn't have a Vortex. All he had to do was weigh out the seal. And now you got that movement coming up the top river. It's an Earthshaker without a fissure. So all he can really do is just try and throw the fissure in from the side shop. With the magic missile connecting already. Now, in fact, it does work because they came in so close to him. It puts him in range.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And this is quite easy. Buckler trigger just helps the creep wave stay alive. A little bit of help coming in from behind. The SF. He's got no Requiem though. And they put down the sentry ward. They can see him. They're going to try and turn the fissure. Bite a little bit more time Centaur. He's being charged right now, so they see him perfectly in the tree line with the wave of terror. That armor will stay dropped by the time the Spirit Breaker is going to arrive with the gust. He's going to try and stop him so we can't do the stomp. The Skywrath Mage just died in the meantime. Heard the Queen of Pain scream go off. Sonic Wave, that is. Yep. So he got a solo kill in the mid. And this SF, they know he was up on top. He's just going to TP himself out. In fact, goes all the way back to base, not just the Tier 2 tower. Might have preferred him to go to the Tier 2 tower. I think he had pretty full life and health and mana. And he could help defend this, because you do have a Drow Ranger. Remember. The 5th of the Ranger. Doesn't make sense. It's not September either. Yeah, but the Drow Ranger can push so hard that this Tier 2 tower has just been shredded apart. They didn't use fortification, and she's only got 1 level up in her ultimate.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, so 9-3 on the board. We're 10 minutes in. Just had a little bit of a stall up in my brain as I look over to something else. But yeah, we have an Orchid build coming up for the Queen of Pain. Obvious thing when you're going up against someone like a Storm Spirit, especially a Storm Spirit that's trying to rush into a Bloodstone. She is the control factor. She gets the initial control and Drow Ranger follows up. I actually noticed too, and I'm kind of surprised about this, and it shows you the intention of NiP. You don't even have 1 point. You got Sonic Wave? Nope. But there's a charge coming in. So a very quick kill. Needs to go into that Nether Strike and stop the Storm Spirit from beating into the Queen of Pain. He's going to go for the Nether Strike, but needs to run away. There's a DDSF right behind. The Storm's out of mana. He can't keep running at that. And so give it up. But a caught for a Skywrath Mage is not really worth it. Especially with the damage output that came towards the Spirit Breaker, who's now charging top. This is only going to work. He doesn't have Nether Strike. In fact, I don't know if this will really work. It definitely won't now. He's going to pull out. Well, there's no Tier 1 tower, so he doesn't have to pull out fully. Just keeps beating out of him. I must be expecting so much more support behind that Spirit Breaker. Especially if you're going to commit Stampede, but you're not. In fact, this is almost... I'm going to say this is a distraction. So NiP can take Roshan. Just to throw as well as the Chen, that's fine. And that allows Droid Ranger to get almost enough money to finish up a Yasha. And we're still only 11 minutes in, it's a push. So yeah, back to what I was saying with the Droid Ranger. With no cold arrows, she's focusing on pushing and that's all. Pushing, teamfight control, but it's the control that comes through the silence onto the Storm Spirit. That's why she's leveling up Gus to level 2. As opposed to putting any kind of points into cold arrows, which at level 2, they're as good as they used to be at level 3. Like, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But maybe she's also considering that Stampede is the best counter to that. But Stampede's a great counter to everything. Yeah, you're not going in there, Spirit Breaker. He doesn't have mana for another strike.
Radiant's bottom tower has
and Dread's already throwing a lot of spam at him. And he doesn't need to die. Like, the trade-off's still working. Chen's taken out the mid, the bottom tower. He'll rotate back up to the mid. You've taken out almost all the tier 1s apart from the one in mid. And you have an Aegis Immortal on the back of a Droid Ranger. Who is just, again, lining up to push out towers. That's what she's great at. And it's what NiP I give them a lot of respect for. That they play a throttled push game. So you're not going to have these 40, 50, 60-minute games out when you watch NiP play. Which is great for the viewers as well. Goddamn, you're dead. Blink, Scream, the Fissure. Actually gets a stun, but the creeps were still there to do the work. The SF looking for an extra raise. It's going to get it too, into that haste rune. Seal Kid, nah, no swap. Not yet, at least. If he did, he just would have swapped into stun. And they would have beaten the crap out of that SF. There's a little bit of split push going on, which is the Storm Spirit on top. The SB's charging in again to meet his old friend. The charge will stop, though. Storm Spirit hasn't TP'd in. He does have a TP, so he can be involved in this. But this is letting the tower go. Like, fortification or not, you're not going to get a denial up against that battle. Like, with the Queen of Pain with so much bonus damage, like, you're giving her a bonus 43 damage in physical DPS because of the Droid Ranger. And you've still only got 1 point up in the marksmanship.
I'll take that.
And when she picks up the Ultimate Orb and goes into the Manta, then there's no control coming out from, like... Well, the Storm Spirit wouldn't want to go in awkward against her anyway. It's nice up against the Spirit Breaker with a seal. But the way she's just able to break free of the seal of the Skywrath Mage and maybe gust him back by the much-needed space. Actually, she's not doing that. Era kind of should have known as well that it's not about just surviving. I was thinking of a different build for the Droid Ranger, for the Mana style. Primarily because I thought he's just so far ahead, and with a push, you're going to get further ahead. So just build for the late game. Don't have to go into something like an SMY. But he's really trying to fight this. Queen of Pain's got to blink right now. Able to get away at the same time. A little bit of trouble coming in for the Chen. The magic missile by him. Time to get the Hand of God off. You've got the mech off to start with. And they stampede up. Sonic Wave. Going to hit pretty hard with the Scream as well. And that's going to drop the Storm Spirit down so low. And Era, this is the perfect time to come up. The Fissure, another good position, but the charge on the way in. And all they want to do, kill off the SF, move to the other target. Up to level 11 already, missing up the hill for the Droid Ranger. The Queen of Pain blinks back in again to ensure the kill. So 2 primary cores lost for Hellraisers. The advantage going the way of NiP, because they only lost their supports. And the Droid Ranger survived through it all. And that's the full SMY now. The TP's coming down the bottom lane. It's going to be a little late. There is the Nether Strike going to be cancelled. As Centaur goes into the trees. He could try and TP out. In fact, I think it's the only thing he really can do. We've got to juke it through the trees a little bit first. Yep. And he's out. But this is now the point where NiP have to be careful how confident they get. Yes, Era is looking fantastic. But how long has that Aegis Immortal got? Not long. It's got another 55 seconds and then it's going to be taken back again. So if you can fight within the next 55 seconds and make sure the Droid Ranger dies during that period of time, then that's okay. But to do that, you've practically got to run the Droid Ranger to here. And that's the only way that's really going to happen. So at all other times, you want to just play a little bit more passive. Make sure you stay up as 5-man. Wait for Hand of God to come back off cooldown. There's still another 60 seconds. Unless you can do this. Okay, this is kind of crazy to try and find the opening. The Fissure is going to drop and keeps Droid Ranger out for a little bit. Queen of Pain. Oh yeah, wait, what? Why? return proc. That's why he pinged out saying someone's here. Dread caught out. There's an Orchid, so he's dead. Sting, Scream, and then 2 more attacks. He goes into a tree line, but there's no surviving this one. Now will be time for that Nether Strike. But nope. Too many heroes coming in. There is a bit of a trap coming in behind as well. As Spirit Breaker, he will eventually pop. Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave in 2 seconds time. Needs to blink away to safety, however. The VS is coming up. The Chen army will also combine it with Drow Rage. He's got an Alpha Wolf buffing up the Drow. The Co-op ulti is enough. There's the Orca, but Storm Spirit denies him perfectly. The Centaur's still going to die. The Earthshaker should be very, very happy he's alive. There's 3 circlets keeping him up. But this will be the tier 2 tower on the top lane. This backdoor regen, hence they're moving over towards the mid. Because they can't take out the top. The creep wave's too far away.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So they just take out the mid tower instead. But that's just one of those fights where, yeah, you got a nice denial off by the Storm Spirit, but it doesn't really help Hellraiser's case at all, because it still means he's dead, which still means you're losing control.
Middle tower is under attack.
There's that Centaur initiation with the Blink Dagger. He's staring down Era. He got right on top of him before. And now Storm's going to try it again. Gust able to hit Storm Spirit. Combining up with the Orca too. And Queen of Pain, oh, he's blocked in! The Echo Slam hits hard though! That Earthshaker buying extra damage back, but NiP, they're losing too many players right now, or are they? Yeah, they are. They've lost everybody. With the Chen to drop as well. The Storm Spirit's on a bit of a charge. The Stampede giving him that movement speed. They keep the Centaur alive on 11 life points, and the Spirit Breaker's the only one to survive. 11 to 12, a 4-for-1 trade-off for the Skywrath Mage dropping. He's coming in for the Centaur. Time the Hoof Stomp. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Blinks away so he can't even get Nether Striked. And then the SF can do a little bit of extra chip damage into the Spirit Breaker. Whoops. I hit a wrong button. Oh, never mind. Cool. Brain back. Alright, Skywrath Mage with Storm Spirit combo again. Storm Spirit's able to get up to 12 Bloodstone charges. Not too shabby for him. He'll give a lot more stability during these fights. And finally he's working into that BKB. This is also the reason why he's not going to go for the mana style. And Earthshaker's waiting forever. Still love this build with the 3 circlets. It's the only thing you could really do. They might find an opening in a moment with a Chen walking up the ramp. The Radiant Observer Wall will scout him out.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
The Dire saw them there. That's why their Observer Wall was up. The charge coming in from the Spirit Breaker. Actually pushing back the Earthshaker. Could have gone into the Nether Strike. And Co-op, quick Orchid, which means no fissure. The Meg charge will keep him up. The Orchid damage is not enough to kill him with 81 life points for the Earthshaker to survive on. But still some nice rotations coming out from NiP. Era's getting his space that he wants on the bottom lane. This is pushing him towards that level 16 a little bit faster. Storm Spirit, however, wants to try and capitalize. They jump in. There's more support TPing in. The Gust does go off, but Storm Spirit, he's got a better way to get away. And that's the Stampede. He's got another jump, but the Orchid, it reached. And the Gust's still on cooldown for another 3 seconds. The Orchid's got another 2. So there is that time just to do that. But the charge is still on the way from the Spirit Breaker. How far away is he? He was coming in close, and he pulls out. He ran past the Observer Ward. Hellraisers would have turned to fight that, knowing what they're coming up against.
Illusion.
New items? No, just TP scrolls. But there will be a new one thing coming up in a moment, and that's going to be the Aegis Immortal into the hands of NiP. So Immortality again. It should go to the Drow Ranger, because still at the end of the day, you want to make sure she can stay alive. She's just so much damage for everybody else on the map. Like, everyone benefits apart from the Spirit Breaker. And there goes Aegis Immortal, and Drow Ranger takes it. Queen of Pain will be sent back to base. So full bottle, full mind. Can try and defend up on the top. While Drow Ranger's moving down with the Champ. I guess difficult enough to kill off the Drow Ranger, but when she's able to take all the farm from your own jungle too, like it all just goes into feeding her so much. And the tier 2 tower is going to drop because you can't defend your own jungle. You've got no vision, so you don't know what's really behind her. Because the Spirit Breaker is just farming in the jungle of his own. So NiP trying to be as efficient as possible. And with the SF showing himself on top, it should give Era a little bit more confidence in the bottom lane, but he's not going to take the chance. When you're this close to getting a BKB, you just don't take the chance. It's almost worth just TPing him up towards the top. Actually, no, because the creep's going to spawn up anyway. So he's got these two camps he can work with.
Haste!
A gift from the goddess.
And there's in fact the BKB. And this should be a push on bottom lane. Centaur's got a new Vanguard, but I don't know how much help this is really going to be to him. This would be a bigger help if they can get Artis to run in through from behind. The Observable Skywrath Mage. They've already initiated down, looking for the first kill. They've got it over on the Earthshaker, and the Gust, where's that follow-up silence? They need to stop him with the Sonic Wave. There goes your Skywrath Mage so quickly. The BKB is just flowing in. As he attacked from the Shadow Fiend, the Cold Arrow is going to really keep him slowed up. The Meg Charge is giving him a little bit of extra armor for now, but with the Orchid, the damage, he'll pop from this. In fact, just to ensure it, Lim comes in and gets the triple kill on him. There's still some backdoor regeneration here, but the creep wave is going to arrive in a moment. So this is going to be a tier 2 tower. SF, do you have buyback? The answer is yes, in 3 seconds. And if they force that buyback, then NiP still get a bigger moral victory after taking that fight. Because they're so far ahead in this game. They want to force up high ground. They still have Aegis the Immortal. Check the timer, only 2 and a bit minutes in. So he's got a long time left on this. Just sit to the backlist. The Chen army do the tanking. They don't have a Hand of God, but that mecha's still there. Storm Spirit jumping in, trying to get rid of this Chen army. But the tower's going to drop. And Era, well, he can take out most of the creep wave. And this will allow the creep wave now to beat into the buildings. And HR have to push. Look at the damage from the Drow. Like, she's just taking out the building. She's got 10-second BKB anyway, so Era does not have to back up from this. He's still got Aegis Immortal. Oh, the War Stomp! The Hoof Stomp, sorry, way too far away. The Fisher will go, but they took the melee racks. They took what they needed. The Storm Spirit will come out and at least get a snipe out in the Santa. But SB's charging away. There's no reason to take a risk. In fact, right now, if NiP want to, like, you got a 2-minute window of opportunity. You could take the tier 2 tower on the top. That would be a guaranteed move. Just rotate everybody up. Or you can try and go for the tier 3 tower in mid. 2 minutes is a long time to do that. It looks like they want to go for something else. But they're not going to catch up to the Centaur. Like, he ran straight through the mid creep wave. So, well done. Well done. How do you stop a mad cow? Put him on a 4-poster bed. A bed of trees. Smoke move from NiP, and they found one. And it's going to be a quick charge up. That means the Shadow Fiend's not going to get away. The Stampede's not going to help him here. In fact, Centaur has to turn. Or maybe he doesn't. The Fish is going to hold him off. But Era wants to go. Like, they broke out of their smoke. And the top lane is too far away. So if they do want to make the most out of this Aegis, again, I want to do a quick timer check. 1 minute. 1 minute on the clock. So if we hit 26, we're basically in danger zone for the Drow Ranger. But she'll stand her ground and just beat into the tower. With the catapult there, there's no backdoor regen. And Era's fine with dying. In fact, he wants to be low and have them jump him, just so the Aegis Immortal can trigger. I'm hearing a charge. They're backing up. It's like they're happy with just inflicting 2/3 damage into that mid tower. Swear, this Wild Wing Toddy is going to get shanked. I wish I saw that sooner. I really wish I saw that sooner. I want to find a screenshot of that. Reach for the skies. Spirit Breaker, real trouble. Dire Observable season coming in. Hoof Stomp, double edge, raise 1, raise 2. Very quick death to the Spirit Breaker. but you're still a melee racks up.
Dire's top
Not
tower
as bad.
is under
The Aegis
attack.
now gets reclaimed, and you backed up at the right time for that too. And if Drow Ranger can finish up this camp, then she can pick up a Regal Song. I'm assuming the Era is going to go into a Butterfly here. He could also build into Skadi. Actually, wouldn't be a bad choice here. But it's going to be
Dire's
Butterfly.
top tower
May as
is
well.
under
He's been
attack.
racking up agility left, right, and center. I still find it hilarious that a Drow Ranger who builds treads in 3 Wraith Bands doesn't even hold on to one of these Wraith Bands into the later game. Like, he was dropping it for very good things. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, Drow Ranger, like, whoa, yo, like, hold on to Wraith Bands, greatest item ever. Like, economy, woot. Like, no. But it's just so inefficient. Storm Spirit's getting charged. The Spirit Breaker's coming all the way from base, so they're not ready to jump in just yet. But the Queen of
Dire's
Pain's going to try and get
bottom tower is
perfectly on the
under
mark,
attack.
and he kind of has to blink an Orchid for this to work, because Storm Spirit is going to do that, and the Spirit Breaker has to pull out of the charge. But it's not something they want to commit into. I don't think HR really want to fight this one either. They've still only got an SF with Mech and Manta. So you got no Yule Scepter to set up or be defensive. You got no BKB that lets him stand during the fight. The only thing he has is maybe he can break free of the gas door. Okay, smoke's breaking. Someone's in the trees, and they know it. Now he comes out, jump in. Nice hoof stomp, but then again, VS swapping him in or swapping the quad back out again. It was still a good ultimate coming out from the SF, hitting very hard onto NiP, but Era with the BKB keeps the fight going. They had extra help with that Sonic Wave inflicting large amounts of damage. The buyback came out from the VS, so now the Magic Missile connects on the Storm Spirit, the Orchid. It's off cooldown again from the Queen of Pain. Can't need to let it off, but it was already too late. The Drow Ranger will drop. And the Quap has to back up. We have a dieback coming out from the VS. The Spirit Breaker is stuck in the tree line, and he's TPing into the mid. And it's at this point that HR have to force out the bottom lane. Not to the tier 3. Like, they can reach the tier 3, but they can't take the tier 3. But they just need
Dire's
some
bottom
level of
tower
advantage
is under attack.
on this bottom lane again, because that's where they're crippled. That's where their melee
Dire's
racks is down.
structures are fortified.
And that was the perfect fight, really. The fact that SF was capable of getting a big ulti off, it just gave such a huge advantage to HR at the start of the fight. The Echo Slam with the Blink Dagger also being very successful again. But it's just these trees right here that Chen walked into and the Queen of Pain walked into. So the first move from the Queen of Pain was her being saved by the VS. The VS sacrificing himself.
Regeneration.
Whew. All right. Smoke Gang time again already? Chen doesn't have an army for this. What's he gonna get now? He's gonna pick up a Satyr. Oh, if they check this at the right time. More than likely, Seal Kid's gonna wait for Terror the Pit. Like, we're 8 seconds away from spawn time. And it's a really quick spawn time as well. It's only 15 seconds. There goes your wave of Terror. Does he keep the vision with a Quap in there? Oh, the timing is just so bad. Top lane, they're gonna lose the Spirit Breaker as well. They were literally off by 2 seconds. That was all it was. Count it so easily on one hand. Centaur's about to jump again. Needs a little bit more vision on the map. The only observer ward right now is the one watching. It's a little further south inside the Dire jungle. If they had one a little bit further up here or here, then it'll be understandable. But you're not thinking,
Dire's
after you've only
middle
just taken a
tower
fight
is
on
under
bottom
attack.
lane, that you were in a position where you can run aggressive observer wards. Like, now you can put them down because you're feeling a little bit more confident, but you would never have them set up before this point. And there it is. Blink down. The charge already coming on Dread, so they got perfect vision of him. The Earthshaker ends up killing off the Chen, so it looks like one aggressive observer ward's already been put to good use. And the charge is still coming in on Dread.
Radiant's
He's
bottom
committing to
barracks
this
are under
with the
attack.
Nether Strike as well. Wave of Terror, nice negative armor, and then Queen of Pain. The Make Charge comes in to try and help out his teammate as Seal Kid, who's in a lot of trouble. That the two supports from NiP
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
dropping very quickly, and Era also caught out. I think NiP are actually losing this game. In fact, I think NiP have actually
Radiant's
lost this
bottom
game.
barracks has fallen.
Like, the bottom ranks is pushed in, yes. But their fights are getting so scrappy, and they're going to lose an Aegis as well as Cheese to HR. I don't see a way NiP are meant to come back in this. Like when HR basically is secured winning the next team fight, Storm Spirit's got 18 Bloodstone charges. He basically has an Aegis as the Immortal if you can get him some BTs. Which he almost has the mind to buy straight up anyway, but it looks like he's going to go into either Assault Cuirass or Shiva's Guard. Your full Skadi is done over on the Shadow Fiend, so he's playing the tank man, just stand there and dish out the deeps, so you can't run away from him. And you don't want to engage into him, because that gust duration is enough to control him. And even then, that gust is meant to be for the Storm Spirit, who has BKB. So the only thing that controls him now is the VS swap, as well as the Spirit Breaker managing to get the bash every now and then. At least Chen has his army back again. Not a full one. I'm only seeing 3 at the moment. And Era just keeps farming up as well. Should be the full butterfly. What we got? Limp, Assault, Cuirass. There's not enough money for this though. The courier's flying out, but I don't know what it's here for. Because it's definitely not here for the draw range. So it must be here to pick up something else. It's just the chainmail. Now you get the plate mail over here, but you need to have the hyperstone. And yeah, he's still short. Give him some time to farm up. Like these camps are gonna spawn up in a moment. And then they can have the AC. That'll help his survivability. It'll help him when they try and push up to high ground. But it also means that the Queen of Pain has to be close enough that the Assault Cuirass is having an effect on the buildings. Because the last attacks that have been coming out, it's just been Drow Range just sitting here and attacking up. That's all that's really been happening. So the Queen of Pain in these situations is sitting further back. Like you basically got VS almost sitting further back, so he's able to swap out either whoever gets initiated on here or here. We're up to like a level 2. Yeah, it's level 2 swap.
Double damage.
So it's still got good range on it. Oh, finally got our charge going. Where are you going, SP? Bottom lane. Found a target. Found the Earthshaker. BKB. And also commits Nether Strike. Gives him an advantage. Not much though. Like the Earthshaker Echo Slam is obviously a great ability. Now you'll assume the ES will have buyback. And forcing an ES buyback isn't really critical. The ES got what he needed. And the ES was able to pick up his Blink Dagger. BKB from Dro. Charge coming onto the Storm. Potentially he could have gusted him and maybe try to bait hit out the Storm's BKB. But you just burnt the 8-second BKB on Dro. Success. Spirit Breaker. Shiva's Guard. He's going to jump up. That's going to give the Shiva's Guard effect on the Spirit Breaker, dragging him back. Even this, now the Skadi effect will hit him as the real SF comes in. But Spirit Breaker for an Earthshaker. You've still got troubles on bottom, however. As Creep Wave continues to push in. And Hellraisers need to do something about this, but they've got to get through Tier 2 and Tier 3 towers before they can do anything about it. That's a lot to get through. It's just become a farm fest. Hellraiser get in front. Gold and experience. Everyone's just waiting for the critical items. Like, we're even getting a freaking halberd over on the Centaur. But if it's not a halberd, it's at least evasion. Realizing the Drow range you build a butterfly means that his next item, if he wants to attack directly into the Centaur, is going to be an MKB. It looks like that's not really a problem, because the Centaur will now go down to the Queen of Pain. She triggered a BKB at the last moment. I don't know if it's really essential. A kill is a kill. We'll send her back to heal up quickly. How long until next Roshan? Not too far off. Funny enough, this is the reason that, like, this is a good choice from NiP, what they're doing right now. Because their choice is not to fight against a team with Aegis. We learned this lesson previously today.
Invisibility. What I miss? Looking for me?
So they just wait it out. Only another 10-15 seconds. There's also that time when NiP can start to set up for a kill. Because the Aegis Immortal, you'll probably be playing a little bit more overconfident while you're holding on to it, which means you'll be a little bit more out of position. But now it times out, and the Shadow Fiend's going to be very much aware of this. He does almost have his full assault cuirass, however, so even if he's aware of it, he's going to be very happy with his position. And they still want to try and fight this. They group everyone together. They do have smoke available, Hellraiser, but they're so far over into the enemy base. There's just no point. One troll's going to be lost. The other 3 will be saved. Back behind the tier 2 tower, and already Chen's trying to back it all the way out. He doesn't need to have full mana. He's got enough mana to still pop that Hand of God as well as mech and keep his team alive.
Tower is under attack.
With the tier 2 tower now under pressure by the Shadow Fiend. Well, we actually have ourselves a quick pause as well. At the same time as the flank is coming up. This is how race they're doing it. So their screens are locked. As far as NiP's positioning goes, Queen of Pain is doing a good job of pushing out through the side. With that Assault Cuirass, her ability to push into a tower is quite good. As I said before, the physical damage increase is quite big. With 72 points up. 72 points of damage coming out from the Precision Aura. This Queen of Pain's damage, with also then the negative armor against the tier 2, is going to be 2, 3 hits to bring it down. Not a lot. Very, very easy. But the problem with MB if things like this happen. Hoof Stomp, double edge, the Vengeful Spirit drops, and the Throw Ranger caught out. The Blinking with the Echo Slam. There's also the Storm Spirit jumping in. And who's really going to be left to defend this for NiP? Well, no one. The Queen of Pain is the only one with a buyback for NiP. So they got a 60-second window. This is almost that moment. It's just taking out the creep wave. Remember the tier 2 towers, boys. You can't take tier 3s without the tier 2s. But this should be a full mid-rax. The charge is coming in, but this is a real... Whoa, 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 whoa. BKB as well. You're not going to kill Goddamn. I don't care if you got a Sonic Wave that's going to do a nice amount of damage. You'll lose the Queen of Pain as well. GG. It was YOLO. They realized this game was over. So they just went in. Good game. Hellraisers give NiP their 3rd loss of the night. More rares being put into jeopardy. As NiP, the bandwagon, they've fallen off it. They've been into Friar Tuck's wine. Everything is not coming up roses for them. Hellraisers will be back in a moment to see if they can actually do a complete whitewash over NiP. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.